Hi, I'm Laura Cox, Shield Healthcare's Ostomy Lifestyle Specialist, and today I wanted to talk really honestly about the things that still bother me about having an ostomy, and then some of my solutions. Now, I am so grateful to have an ostomy and to still be alive, but just because I'm grateful doesn't mean that there aren't minor nuisances that get in the way of some of my days. At Shield Healthcare, we believe in putting a positive spin on everything, but we also believe in being genuine and honest. So here are some of the things that still bother me about living with an ostomy. First, those occasional leaks. So it's no fun to wake up to a bed that has been leaked in, and it can be really inconvenient. And most of the time I do leak at night, only about once or twice a year because I have gotten to be an expert about putting my pouch on, but I still do have those leaks. And it's inconvenient. What I like to do is call my employer or my professor, let them know that I will be late. I take a shower, change my pouch, throw everything in the laundry, and then go to work. Sometimes I reward myself with like my favorite latte or 30 minutes of yoga, just to kind of try to turn the day around. And I end up being pretty proud of how I handled it and being able to continue my day as usual. Another thing that bothers me sometimes is the fact that I have to rely on supplies every single day. And although I don't mind pouching and I don't mind having the supplies, I think one of my fears is that a natural disaster will happen or something will happen where I can't get the supplies I need, and that really worries me when I think too hard about it. What I do to kind of combat this worry is that I make sure that I have at least 3 months worth of supplies stocked in my home so that in case something does happen, I know that I'm covered. Another thing that bothers me is worrying about my pouch being visible underneath my clothing. I wear tight clothes and I'm not willing to compromise that, so what I do is I really just, when I start to feel the pouch getting full, I'll go and empty it. I also recently made a video about how to dress with an ostomy to conceal the pouch, and that will be linked down below. Another thing that I think about often is making the swimsuit decision. So this is, do I want to wear a cute bikini and possibly deal with people looking at me and asking me what my ostomy is and disturbing me, or wearing a one piece, which I may not love as much, but also will allow me to go to the beach and not worry about people wondering what my ostomy is. And that really is a personal preference. I know people who only wear bikinis and only wear one pieces, and I tend to just think about what I'm doing, if I mind educating people, and making the decision from there. I usually opt for a one piece. One of the things that still bothers me the most after ostomy surgery are abdominal adhesions. So these usually happen to me when I'm moving around a lot or doing weird yoga positions, and it's basically just scar tissue left over from the surgery that can sometimes get caught on itself and cause a significant amount of pain. So the thing that I do when these abdominal adhesions are acting up, I just lie flat and allow it to work itself out. And if necessary, I use a heating pad to help with the pain, Tylenol, and in some instances, I do use Vicodin or Norco. So since the ostomy bag kind of ends right in the inside of my legs, it does kind of rub and cause abrasion. So the only thing I do to eliminate this is I roll the ostomy pouch up a couple times and I'll tuck it into my pants or especially made ostomy underwear or wrap, and that completely eliminates the issue. One of the other really difficult things is explaining my dietary restrictions. Now, everyone with an ostomy will have different dietary restrictions. For me personally, it means basically no raw vegetables or else I will get a blockage. A lot of cooked vegetables don't even work, and anything like fruits with skins. And so that's pretty specific, and the thing is, the things that are good for everyone else are the things that are really bad and dangerous for me. And so it's really hard for people to wrap their minds around it. They always assume it's an allergy, but I just kind of explain it as my body can't digest things that are very fibrous, so that's what I can't eat. The last thing that bothers me is kind of a catch-22 because I'm so grateful that my ostomy allows me to look healthy, to do really wonderful things, but it also contributes to people not thinking that I'm that sick because I do look so healthy. And this is less of just an ostomy thing, but a chronic illness thing in general. I think it's really hard as someone who's gone through a lot of painful chronic illness years and to be told that you don't look that sick or you can't possibly be that sick because you look so good. Because it does feel like that's taking away from the pain and the life lessons and the trials and tribulations of living all those years with chronic illness. So just try to avoid saying that if you can. So those are some of the things that bother me about living life with an ostomy. Although I am so grateful and I love still being alive and still being here, there are still some things that bother me. And I wanted to be very genuine and open. For more informational videos about ostomies, please check out our other videos or our community site at shieldhealthcare.com/ostomylife.